inside of the city, and we're back again after the second part of the huge Park Drive storyline, what's happening at the moment. And I have to say, I was a little bit disappointed with the last episode, and for some reason in the editing, my music messed up. Whereas for example, I have a song which I use for the outro theme with I'm online. I have a song for the outro theme of Park Drive, and that goes at the end, like when the actual show's about to finish. And for some reason, the dog's barking sound effect and the sad music all got moved forward, which then made the song at the end get moved forward, and then the song just cut off halfway through the outro. And then there was also a clip which I forgot to trim, which had me checking my hood like this, and then I was just going to trim a teeny bit of it. And it was also a short episode as well. I know we had to try and make do when a character had to go offline, but I still thought it would have been a bit longer than it was. I don't know what made it so short. However, let me know in the comments if you want to see a part 3 very soon, because we are due to start Survivalist sometime pretty soon. But I don't want to start Survivalist until this story is over. Now, kind of the next part of the story, I'm not going to give too much away on what happens, but if you kind of notice with the first episode where the fire happened, if you notice at the end, it had Noreen on Noreen on the roof. And then it sort of filmed round, and then it sort of showed the front of the house. And then if you know how the last episode started, it kind of filmed back round from the front of the house, and then it went back to Noreen on the actual back way again of a stood on the roof. So what I want to do this time is I want to, when I start the next episode, if you see how it left off with Paul laid on the floor because he'd just been set on fire. The fire had caught him. So what I want to do is kind of film back in to Paul laid on the floor, and then kind of carry on from where it left off. So Paul was on the floor, Steve's going to try and get him in an ambulance probably, and I want it to sort of carry on from there, if you sort of get what I mean. So it kind of is the next episode, but at the same time, each episode of this week kind of picks up from where it left off last time, and it kind of it only tells so much of a story in one episode, and then it'll kind of play this sad music and zoom out, and then at the beginning of the next episode it'll play the sad music, and then it'll zoom in, and then it'll get back into the story, and it'll basically carry it on. But you guys are probably going to have a lot of questions, is Steve going to get caught out? What's going to happen? Is Noreen still going to go and live with her sister? Is is everybody going to be okay? Is Lisa okay? Is Paul going to be okay after he's set on fire? You guys might have a few questions regarding what's going to happen upcoming with Park Drive. Well, all I can say is I can't really give you too much away in general, other than when the fire stops, we're going to board it up, and we're probably going to repair it throughout the episodes, make it as if Noreen's probably got to move somewhere else for the time being, depending that Noreen's okay. I mean, she's still in the fire as we know at the moment, so that's what I like about the story, because you guys can think of so many different things, and the cool thing about it is I don't even know what's going to happen with this story, and there's so many different things I can think about with this story, and I can say we can make this happen, and we can make that happen, and we could do it this way, and we can do it that way, and it's absolutely so fun to do. I'm really excited, and I'm really enjoying this story of Park Drive at the moment. And then obviously when Park Drive, this story finishes, when it's sort of I wouldn't say go back to normal, but you know, when the kind of like fire stops and everything, and you know, like sort of like the fire's been put out, when the actual main sort of story ends of this episode. What I basically want to do is then the episodes will go back to normal, if you get me. So they'll go back to not being sort of every day. They'll go back to like every so many days, you know, where we'll miss a few days again. But just while we've been doing this Park Drive huge story at the moment, I've been wanting to like tell the story each day of the week. So I think we started the first bit on Monday, and then we carried it on yesterday, Sunday rather, then we carried it on yesterday, and then, you know, again today we maybe might be able to carry on the next part. And then when the story's over, when, you know, the fire's put out, and, you know, when we feel like, you know, that's it, you know, we find out what happens to people and stuff like that, then the Park Drive will go back to the way it was, where we do one maybe every so many days. And we miss a few days, but I've been like really enjoying it, and it's been some of the best episodes got, you know, filming. And we're also going to see some interview videos as well, of some other people, some like interviews with some of the characters coming up soon as well. Maybe Steve Woods or someone, and maybe like Martin will maybe get an interview about how this, you know, how it feels, or maybe Noreen will, about a house being set up on fire and stuff like that. So it's quite good. It's a cool story, and I want to show you a trick what we did yesterday, because if you saw in last episode, which I really liked, we made it look like people were sat down, not sat down, like laid down. So for example, when Noreen fell through the roof, it would be a bit unrealistic if she was stood kind of bent down in the middle of the corner. For example, if she fell and she was like this, it would look a bit unrealistic. So what we did, because the fire's been based around night time, we basically laid her on a bed. That was basically what we did. We made her lay on this bed, and then I just sort of like filmed a bit, so you didn't necessarily see the bed, but you could see her laid down, and then you'd get the effect that she had like fallen and laid down. We've done the same for Lisa outside of here, and then we've done the same for Paul at the end, just here, when a little piece of fire just caught him. And that's basically what went down with that. So it was a pretty cool feature, and I will definitely be using it again in the future. I definitely really like the way that went. So yeah. And in terms of Park Drive in the future, like when the story's way out of the way, what have I got planned? Nothing that I know of just yet, but I'm always thinking of cool ideas. If you do want to join the Park Drive series as well, I'm going to be making a community on the PlayStation 4 for Park Drive, particularly because, you know, we could do with like some new people who are going to be in it regular, kind of like how Martin is and stuff, not people who can only make it now and again. It'd be nice to get some different people around here, maybe some people to play police officers and firemen and stuff like that, so we don't have to change skin and put voices on, or use an armor stand. It'd be like pretty cool if we could have some people to play that. So I'm gonna like do a sort of like community, and then I'm gonna go ahead and post in the community things what are gonna be happening, so the people who are in the Park Drive series know that we're shooting an episode today, or for example they know that I've got something big planned, and I'll need a lot of the Park Drive characters or something like that. And then if you haven't necessarily like join the party in a while, or for example, you know, you are a part of the series, then you'll know that you'll know when things are going to happen within Park Drive, that, you know, you'll be needed in an episode if you can make it, which will be pretty cool. But the Park Drive series is already the best thing by far I've ever recorded on YouTube. It even beats the Lost on an Island, what I did back on my old YouTube channel, well, old YouTube channel. And trust me, that was really fun to record as well. that was like a really fun thing to do. But this park drive just tops it, like doing house fires and making like someone responsible for it, and you know what I mean? It makes it so fun. But I'm just going to fill a bit of this in. I didn't actually mean for any of this to break, but the fire actually spread underneath, and unfortunately it kind of broke into next door's garden a bit. So as a matter of fact, I am going to make a little bit of a breakage just down here. Well, not necessarily on the floor, but I'm going to make some of the fence kind of look like it's broke down. And then you can kind of, actually that needs to be a cobblestone slab, and then you can kind of see that the wall has kind of fallen a bit, the fence is kind of broke, and then you can also like see that some of his grass has been ruined, and then he'll just have a little minor repair to do with his fence. But the only like unrealistic thing is that a floor wouldn't actually burn in real. Like a carpet would in a house, but in terms of a floor underneath. But it looks pretty cool. I like it. We're getting it like properly in the action. But yeah, but I think I can confirm to you guys that the main part of the fire is now over. I can confirm to you that it isn't going to be as, well, I wouldn't say it will, it still will be dramatic, but it isn't going to be as big as what it's been like just this past 2 episodes. It is going to kind of calm down, if that makes sense. It is going to sort of calm itself down a bit, so we'll have to see what goes down in Chinatown. So there we go. So I'm not going to get rid of any of the fire in the house yet. They are going to put it out in the next episode a bit more, but at the moment I'm not going to do anything. So there we go. The upstairs especially is still the worst. In my opinion, the downstairs kind of got ruined a bit. It just kind of burnt out and just left loads of like odd bits of fire here and there. I mean, look at this, and then you go up here and look at the upstairs with like cobwebs everywhere and looking like smoke. And so I definitely might do some more fire in this room, and the episode we're going to do next, and I might certainly do a bit more just in the front room. We'll get rid of them. And then there's also, you know, and I'll put a bit more smoky around, and yeah, should be good to go. I think Stampy wants an invite. We'll just have to see. I've suggested him. Yeah, and guys, you do not want to get stuck on the phone to insurance companies. Trust me. Basically, you know, I was telling you I was getting my bike back on the road and all of that stuff. Well, basically, we joined with a different insurance company, and they wanted to know my no claims policy from my previous insurance people. And basically what went down is we rang them up, who I used to be with. We found who it was. They said they'd send it, and then we rung the others up and said, you know, they said they'd send it, but they've not yet sent it yet. And then they said that they'd get hold of them and find out where it was. And they still cancelled the insurance, and they still said they hadn't claimed it. And this company I'm with now reckons that the company I used to be with has no records of me being on their list for insurance, but for some reason I spoke to these people on the phone myself, gave them my name and address and details, and apparently they don't know who I am. So we've had to like wait on hold for like half an hour and then you find out you can't even sort out the issue, and then you've got to ring some other people. Then the office is closed until tomorrow, and it's just annoying, you know. I come in and I want to come up and get these videos done and chill out, and then I have to sit and listen to insurance people on hold all night. Stampy, yo. So there we go. Did you watch the? Did you? All right. Wait, guys. 2 seconds. Just a sec, Steve. I'll be back. Just a sec, Stampy. Right, guys. Advanced settings, audio, share party audio. All right. So, Mr. Stampy Longman, who plays Martin in Park Drive, how do you feel about these 2 episodes?
Is this some sort of interview?
I just thought I'd ask you a few questions while we're live streaming. This is Martin, by the way, guys, who plays the Martin in Park Drive. His Park Drive name's Martin and his real name's Martin.
Okay, so what was your question?
How do you think the first 2 episodes have gone of this like huge fire?
The first episode was really good, but the second episode was a bit too short.
Yeah, definitely a bit too short. I agree with you on that one, definitely. And how do you feel about playing you know, a character to get involved in such a big Park Drive story?
I love playing the character that I play. It's good the way he's a main character because he's kind of involved in most storylines. So it's fun playing him.
Yeah. So guys, just to get this like off of you guys' chests. So basically, Stampy's real name is Martin. He plays a character in Park Drive called Martin, and then he basically plays another character who basically like hosts shows and sort of like announces like MC Noble coming out at events, and he also does like a Saturday night show. He also does a winning streak, and basically that person's called Martin as well. So basically his real name is Martin, and he plays 2 other characters called Martin, which is weird. So basically there's a Martin Parson, there's a Martin Boost, which are the 2 people he plays, and then he has his real name as Martin as well. So that's really weird. It's kind of weird, but at the same time, like, I don't even know what made me think to call him Martin at the beginning of Park Drive, because like before Park Drive there was such a thing as Martin Boost. So, but I kind of like the name Martin. It's different to like Tom, Dick and Harry, so I kind of like Martin. No, I kind of like Martin as a name, but you guys are also some other questions to clear up, which won't be really giving anything away. But you guys have probably wondered, or at least some person did message me and say, how come Martin's kids are yellow when he's not? And the theory to that is Martin's mum and dad died in a car accident when he was young. He got taken into adoption, but he didn't want to be put up for adoption, so he ran away, and basically Noreen found him at the side of the road, who is yellow. And that's why his mum's yellow in the series, and he's not, because she basically adopted him. And the reason why his kids are yellow is because he dates, he goes out, or he has a wife who is yellow, and when they gave birth to the kids, they turned out yellow. So that's why he has 2 yellow kids, Lisa and Billy, who are
that yellow guy and got into a different one.
Yeah, he broke up with that yellow girl and got with another girl. And that's basically why the kids are yellow. But basically, the original yellow mum has nothing to do with Billy and Lisa. And the dad's done all of the looking after for years, as well as paying Noreen's rent and getting her into a bigger house from when she used to live on Mini House Road. Yeah, and I also got a fire station to show you, I think, guys. Yeah, here we go, look. I never seen that myself. That's why I was checking. But unfortunately we can't set the world back today yet. But I think in this episode it is gonna we are gonna get closer to coming back to daytime, because I think when it comes into the episode we're gonna put the daylight cycle back on again. Because basically what we wanted to do within this story is we wanted it to kind of get night, but then obviously you can spend 10 minutes in real life and that's a whole Minecraft night gone. So we wanted to make it as if it would stay night for a while, but then we want to kind of make it like this fire did keep them up all night, and then it is actually going to turn back to daytime. Which should be pretty cool. But I definitely agree that the last episode was a bit too short, and I did make that music error, and I forgot to trim a clip as well. But the music error I don't think was my fault. I don't know why that happened, but I did forget to trim a clip where I just basically put up my HUD really quickly. But it's hard to get everything right. It's again, when you're editing, it's not easy to sometimes to make sure you've got it right, you've got to watch the whole episode, and then if the episode's sometimes 27 minutes long, which it has been in the past, it's sometimes a while to watch it. And then obviously I have to process it, and then I have to get it up on the channel before I have to go to sleep for work the next day, and it can be quite tricky, and sometimes I may just forget to trim a little teeny bit of a clip off, or sometimes I may just put a bit of text in the wrong place or make a spelling mistake. But we us at Park Drive, especially people like Stampy and the actors, we all do our best to try and make this episode, these episodes as good as we can, apart from the people what peek through holes as Talibans and break bricks and drop TNT through the church roof. But apart from that, everybody else all does their best to try and play the characters as good as they can, such as Paul, such as Martin, even that Lego Fanhead dude. The only thing I'd say about Lego Fanhead is he needs to be a bit more enthusiastic. Like for example, when he come out the house and saw the fire, he kind of went across the road, and then I did a realistic knocking, like he's knocking, and then Steve was like, yeah, I'm coming, quick, what is it? And then he's kind of the house next door is on fire. Like you'd think it'd be a bit more like, yo Paul, you've got to come quick, next door's house is on fire, there could be people in there, I don't know, it's smoking and everything, we've got to call the fire brigade. But instead he was just kind of like, yo, the house next door's on fire. Which is kind of like, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's not really enthusiastic, is it? Like, you think if you see a house on fire in real, you're not going to go, oh, yo, there's a house on fire, you better come. You'd think it'd be a bit more panicky and that type of thing, but then he did an alright job of going in and saving people, and then he went to get help last episode, but yeah, I'd definitely say be a bit more enthusiastic. Yeah,
you made a mistake when you're doing the Norse Shadow's wife. You said, I think there's a woman and two men trapped in there, but Martin was gone in there saving Noreen as well. I thought you forgot.
Oh yeah, but no, because you went offline. I made it that you went in the ambulance with Lisa, and then if you see at the end, I filmed you in the ambulance with Lisa.
But if you think about it,
yeah, I know that's what he. I know that's.
Just go in the house halfway and just turn around. I'm like, whoop.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but if you look back at the episode, when you come out with Lisa, you said you'd go back in for Noreen, but then when Lisa's outside, she starts talking to you, so it kind of like distracted you, thinking that she's going to be okay.
Then when you were falling, I was like, Noreen, I'm coming.
Yeah. That's what I mean, but now you went in the ambulance anyway, but
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I see Noreen on the ground. I was like, nope, I'm going back in.
Yeah, no, you just kind of got, I don't know, it was all a mess, wasn't it, with the fire, and maybe some more stuff fell down at the door.
I was thinking maybe like I got like a wall fell on me or something, and I got trapped in there. And no one knew.
It could have been, but I already filmed you in the ambulance. That was all.
I don't think no one knows. I think everyone just thought I was just sitting there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Or maybe like this episode or something, you could say she's, Lisa's at the hospital, and then you could come back to see if Noreen's okay. And then someone like Steve or whatever.
I get stuck in there, like a wall collapsed on me, and
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but we got to give you a reason to go back in. So I was thinking, like, you could come back.
No, because no one knew that I was gone in the ambulance. Everyone, it didn't look at all like I was in the ambulance.
I suppose.
It really didn't.
What did it look like to you? May I ask?
It looked like I was sitting there looking at her in darkness.
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose
I didn't know I was in the ambulance.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there isn't really much you can do in the back of an ambulance, but no, I suppose we can. I suppose we can make something happen. Yeah, we can make something happen, like you can get trapped or something, but we've got to film it in the episode.